Hey there, everyone. It's Kim, and I am going to share this process that I use. I just went through the process myself, and I want to share what came up for me with what I'm going through right now, what I'm integrating, what's coming up for me, and how I choose to move through things, because this is a way that is really powerful. A lot of times when there's a lot of expansion, it can overwhelm our ability to kind of let it in because, and I shared yesterday in the MindBody TV episode that sort of like we are an energetic container. And when we want expansion of more health, more joy, more aliveness, authenticity, wealth, love, we have to allow the old energies to clear in order to make space for more of this essence of who we truly are. And when those old energies clear, it's like this calibration process, and it can be really unsettling. And so there's a way that I've learned to move through this that's really, really helpful. And so the first step is to sit with what is coming up for me. And for me, it's kind of been weeks of like this little bit of like, Kim, slow down more, because what's integrating right now is really, really big. And I was aware that even though there was some slowing down, it was like, wait, it's not enough, slow down even more. And so I could kind of feel this little buildup. And today I finally made some time to really sit with it more fully than I have been. So that's kind of the first step, is like sit with what's really coming up, make space. So for me, I'm on my mat, my little baby's sleeping. I was like, perfect timing. And so I made some time for myself to just be with this and be present. So I set my timer for 7 minutes, and then I added, I think, another 5 because I wanted to kind of still just sit. It felt really good to just sit with it. And this is the one step that can have the most resistance. Like, we don't want to sit with the mucky energy that comes up. So we're like, get busy or create or do or get active or, hey, let me go for a walk. Like, there's a lot of ways that we can avoid it and not really give it all of the space that's required. And so to just be present and feel everything you feel, and actually make a little ritual of time, 5 or 10 minutes of just sitting and breathing, and like feel your breath coming in, feel your breath going out, and just allow whatever's coming up to come up. Witness it, experience it. And there's like, for me, there were lots of thoughts, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, I breathe in, I breathe out. Because when we let the physical body be still, that is really useful to let a lot of these energies come up. So even if the mind is like, no, this feels so much worse, I can't just sit, I can't. It's like, I breathe in, I breathe out. And then the next stage that I'll use is like, it's called a swamp exercise. And I've shared this in the Embracing Health group, where you let all the crap that's coming up have a voice and be expressed. And so I wrote it down in my notebook, and I'll make like one area that's the swamp, and then one area that's the other side of the page, that's the celebration. And what comes up is freaking crazy, because it's so insane, but it's stuff that this old layer like really believes or really bought into. And our energy bodies like are a container. Like, if we think of, here's your your energy body. I don't know if you can see that, yeah. And it's all this etheric space around you. But if there's like a layer of gunk in here, and then the rest of it is like, oh, I'm so blissful, I love myself, I'm great. But now you want more. You want to receive even more unconditional love and expression of self and being received and living in health and fluidity. You've got to make space for it. And so you've got to like release this other layer that's been like, oh, I'll just tuck that over there, it doesn't matter. Well, it does. And so this is the layer that's coming up. It might be just 2%, it might be more than that. But when it comes up, it will be just as ucky and mucky and grungy and icky as if it's 100%. So it's not to judge like, whoa, I had that in me, because I'm going to share some of the stuff that came up. It's a layer. And we can just appreciate that. So this is what came up for me when I swamp. And when you swamp, you just like get into the mucky uckiness of it. This is a process I learned from a woman named Regina Thomashower, who teaches an amazing program called Mama Gina's School for Womenly Arts. That was a really powerful experience for me. So I've kept this as a tool. So here's what came up in my swampiness of like what this layer, what this part that's moving out wanted to say. And it's just a part of me that wanted to be heard. So I just made space for that. So the first thing is I hate everything. And I was in this space kind of just really resonating with that. Nothing makes sense. This is all pointless. My life is a sham. Nothing matters. I'll never amount to anything. And like I said, it's totally insane. You don't have to make any sense of this or try to understand it, because I'll never amount to anything. And then you could combat it like, no, I've already done so many things. I've been so successful. I can take care of myself. Like, this is not to argue the point. It's just to breathe in and breathe out and let all of this come up, because it is transmuting. So that's what came up. I will always suffer. It will never get better. I'm a total loser. No matter what I do, life is meaningless and I will always suffer. So pretty heavy. I hate myself. She'll never accept me. And this is like this one particular person in my life. I'm too needy. I'll never have what I need. So just breathe for yourself. If there's any of this that has ever resonated for you, let that transmute for you as well. I'm not like everyone else. Oh, that one was awful to like, it's like you're having a big bowel movement and all this poop is moving through and it's like, oh. That one was really, really heavy. I'm not like everyone else. For all the years I sort of struggled and suffered in my life, being multi-dimensional, operating in many dimensions at once, and being in a world where like it's totally just a 3D reality and no one around me understood what I was all about. So I just thought like, whoa, there's really something wrong with me. They're all adequate and I'm inadequate. Eek. So then, like even while I'm doing the swamp, there was other stuff coming in that's on the other side of the equation, insights and realizations and things that are lighter, because energy can move really quickly as you purge all this stuff just by acknowledging it, breathing it, writing it down, that other insights are already coming in, awarenesses. So I write on the other side of the page, celebration. I'm willing to move through this. That's very nice. I know I'm allowing things to release to make space for all I've been asking for. That actually felt really good, because you begin to resonate with these truths. This is bringing me closer to total aliveness, expression, receiving, authenticity, and love. This is the most important thing I can do for my world. Because like I said, sometimes there's the urge to like just bag it and repress this and like go do something that we think is a good thing. And there's nothing more important than moving through and meeting yourself more fully. It's okay for me to take time. I have all the time I need to receive all I need. It's okay for me to sit with this. It's okay to celebrate all that I am. And then a few more things. I can release all the things I've ever wanted. I am that. I can release wanting more. I already am all of it. So these are some of the insights and awarenesses coming in as I'm releasing and honoring all the spaces going out. And then the last one was, it's okay to let myself be all that I am. All right, so that's the next step. So we sit with it, make some space, feel what we feel, and then the second piece is the swamp, and then if there is the celebration piece, you can also add that. You don't have to in that second stage. You can just swamp it out and write down all the mucky-ucky stuff, give it a voice. And then the next piece is, I'll just ask my heart, what will contribute the most to my expansion? And I'll feel into awareness. So sometimes there's something to do, there can be inspired action. Sometimes it's just acknowledgement. So the first thing that came up for me was share. So I was like, oh, I'll share this video and share this process. And there's a woman named Zoe Davenport that has been assisting me with some things lately. And this piece of what will contribute the most to my expansion is kind of something that I added from working with her into this process. The next thing that came up is take a bath. Because I love Epsom salt baths. It's really, like, physically, it'll reset your electromagnetic field. It's really powerful. Take meditations. So I did this meditation today. It was only like 7 or 8 minutes. And I really felt so good to just give myself the space to sit with this. So I'm going to take more of that. Relax and listen. Not too much talking. Sit with this way every day. And then there are just a couple other things. Acknowledge that you are going through it. You are doing it. And so having that awareness, like there's nothing else to do. You are doing it. You're doing amazing. So that's kind of what came through for me. So that's the last step you can use in this process of, like, sit with it, do the breathing, consciously swamp and let it all out, and then listen and ask what will really contribute the most here. What will contribute to this expansion? Notice it's not, how can I feel better now? And then there's like a suppression. It's okay to go through and complete this process because it creates the buoyancy of our natural aliveness coming back in, and always we receive more. It is so rainy here. I live in the desert, but it's been raining for like a week and it's crazy, crazy, crazy. But I know this is like an interesting part of the process for me. And one of the things I didn't mention on the live yesterday is that fall is a huge time where we allow grief to arise, where we allow despair to move through. Not always fun, not always pleasant. I remember a few years ago when I learned more about that, I was in a really, like, I was like crying in yoga class, like a lot of heaviness moving through, and I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. And my yoga teacher told me fall is like in the autumn, there's a lot of purging. Let your energetic body do it and support yourself physically and just go through it. I was like, okay. So sometimes understanding what's going on in our seasonal cycles and, what's going on in our energy body with the seasonal cycles really helps us to allow the process we're in, to support it, to nurture ourselves through it, and let that completion happen, because obviously there's so many gifts that come when we let ourselves move through these cycles and we receive more of who we are. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I will share this in the MindBody community, and and just inviting those of you who are wanting to participate in the live membership. We'll probably be going a lot deeper into these kinds of energies as we cyclically move through things, and you're welcome to join me in there. It's at drkimd.com/membership. And for everyone, though, the content that we create just for that live broadcast will be shared later on, so you'll still receive that. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful, and I'm kind of eager to hear if this resonated with you, because for me, one of the things was, Kim, share this. And sometimes we don't even know why it makes sense to do that, but then sometimes we can get that receiving of that, the insight of like, whoa, this really was a contribution. So in whatever way this is a contribution to you, lots of love.